back to Pandora Pals. I'm Gigarex.
I'm Crazy Peanut Pie.
And today for our Myths and Legends, we're going to do another Hollywood myth. Although, I don't know if is there a term that Xenomorph really kind of configures besides just the aliens?
I mean, it can really apply to any extraterrestrial, because Xenomorph is just, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, in term just means some sort of unknown to this planet life form kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, we could probably look it up some other time, but I think it just really means alien in general.
Gonna have to excuse my little spot right here. We just got done doing a bunch of yard work, and honestly, we don't get that much time these days until he's able to move closer to be able to do videos like this. So, gotta take it while we have it, right?
Yep, and my voice might be going in and out because allergies is kind of really affecting me.
Yep. So, that's also why I'm in a bright pink tank top. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be talking about Xenomorphs, also known as the aliens from, the Alien movies, or I guess if we really need to link it to something, AVP, Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, let's see, what other ones do we got?
There's probably the more recent ones of the Alien movies.
Yeah, they're not called the Alien movies. They're called like Prometheus.
Prometheus, and I think one starts with a C.
Yeah, something like that. It's like the home. I'm thinking it's like the home world of those like godly like creature people alien guys.
The elder race or whatever you want to call them. The ones who originally made the Xenomorphs.
Yep. But let's see. Some of you may just see the aliens as these large, I guess semi-large, man-sized, or even some of them being more than man-sized, looking exoskeleton type creatures with acid blood. But there's actually a lot more to these creatures. I understand that there's more tutorial stuff into these creatures, but our thing here is more about like just notifying you about some good to know information about them and what it would be like if these creatures were to be introduced to the habitat of Earth, which honestly I can straight up tell you right now, it does not look good.
Nope.
For one, the aliens first start off with producing a queen somehow out of the blue. And I think it's just if there's no one left, it kind of just genetically changes into a queen.
I think that's how it is, yeah.
And then eventually it produces the eggs, which have the facehuggers in it, and then the facehuggers find anything to latch onto and then lay the eggs into the host of said creature. Pretty much, it seems like the aliens take the biggest characteristics of the creature host that they end up being part of. I want to have Prometheus be a good thing, but because Prometheus is how the aliens kind of started, like I don't know if that was just how it is or the guy eventually like genetically amplified them, because when Prometheus, when that squid-like thing that actually ended up starting this whole alien setup with them got a hold of the elder race, it came out as a different like white species with I think even eyes, or maybe not eyes, I'm not sure. It looked very weird. But then eventually the synthetic robot guy kind of like messed with it a little bit with the surviving girl who he eventually kind of dissected later, and I guess perfected the creature to its fullest extent of what she thought, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what that's what I understand from it. Like you've seen it too, right?
Yeah, the Xenomorphs that you see in the Alien movies later that are in the future, that is, I'm guessing, the perfected form that he makes. But then that also brings into question the timeline from the AVP movies.
It really is. It's very questionable about what goes on. It's hard to understand. I'm sure some of you can explain all this to us. I'm sure I could look it up and be like, oh, well, that's the timeline there. I've done it with Star Wars, but like, this is a creature show. I can do Star Wars creature. That's fine, but it's not going to matter about the timeline because those are random creatures. This is a whole entire like streamline of one specific creature up until like pretty much, I guess, it gets the eye attention of the predators.
Oh gosh, I would honestly love for them to start making more Predator movies too.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think they left off on a good spot with that last one, with the Alien Protector or Predator Protector. Anyway,
are we talking about the same movie?
The latest one that came out. I think you actually bought me a copy of it.
Is it the one where like at one point there's that biker gang?
I believe so.
Alright. And that really was like there. It does show a little more background in the Predators, and that's what I'm hoping for. Because now that we're seeing a whole lot of the Xenomorphs, it'd be nice to see that.
Yeah. But anyways, now that we got off track from that to the Predators, which we'll get into the Predators another time. But I got to do a lot more research. There's more story to them that I think I can learn about to do a story about them. But we know enough about the aliens and their background mostly to make this story. But from there, let's see. So it got a hold of Prometheus and it made it a different type of alien creature. I don't know if that's just supposed how it would have came, or if the newer perfected aliens and their facehuggers and whatnot, if it were to get a hold of the elder race again, if it would become different.
True.
And that's really the biggest question I have out of all this right now. But to point out the difference in characteristics, that they even went into a big difference in this with I believe the second Alien movie that came out. I think it was literally called Alien. So you had aliens and then Alien and then like Alien something. Yeah, it's a whole big deal. But Alien ended up being there's two copies of this movie. One where a cow ended up being the host, and one where a dog ended up being the host. And they actually both took on separate characteristics. They went really in depth into that part.
I think I only saw the one where there was the cow.
Possibly.
But yeah, from what I noticed, that the perfected version, what happens is it more focuses on weaponizing whatever it comes from, some of the traits from that, whereas the original form just looks adaptation or evolution in general.
I see a picture of a statue every now and then on Facebook about a dragon xenomorph, and at first I'm thinking, oh, is that the guy from Samus or Smash Bros. And Samus? But no, it's actually like the alien xenomorph, and basically, to my eyes, it looked like a skinny version of a Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll try to find the pictures of both of these and compare them. Like, they're not super alike, but like, you can probably understand where I'm getting the idea from.
Yeah.
Excuse a little bit of background noise as Zaradactyl is currently with us now. Oh, I'll take that. And that. Thank you. But, so, where were we? Oh, the cow and the dog one. So, from what I could remember, if I'm correct, I could be remembering it improperly. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so do not criticize me if I remember this improperly. The one from the dog was more of a speedy tracker build, and not by much difference, the cow one had a bit of a bulkier build. Kind of like a regular alien almost, but it was off-colored. A lot like the dog one as well. It was more brownish.
That's interesting.
Monster burp. Let's see. And then trying to think of all these different things. At some point in the Alien series, there is an alien that ends up almost live birthing from the alien queen sac. And it looks more human than ever because it's got like a pointy nose, it's got weird eyes, everything. And it sat there and killed the alien queen.
It's because what had happened is that alien queen and the main character woman were essentially brought together as part of a cloning from the DNA that they had from before.
Yep.
And so the woman, she was part alien herself, and the queen was part human because of that mixed DNA.
Yep.
And so because of that, she, in a sense, was still connected to the queen. And so when that alien gave birth, it viewed the queen as human and the main character as the actual queen. And so killed that queen, and she could tell that it was wanting to like do what she wanted, but she was still in a sense scared and hated aliens, and so she ended up killing that, even though it was technically her son.
Yep. Well, she knew she couldn't let it go or something. Yeah. That was an interesting setup. But all in all, like knowing all that stuff about these creatures and just Xenomorphs, I think it would be pretty much impossible with the human race to be prepared to fight such any kind of outbreak like that.
Oh yeah, especially considering our current protocols.
Well, it's not just that. Like, first of all, you gotta have like force shields just to prevent the acid blood from burning through metal structures and whatnot, because they're smart enough to do that. And what I think in that same movie that we were just talking about, they ended up escaping from killing one of their own to melt through the floor that they were contained in.
Oh yeah,
then they sat there and they injured her slightly, the queen, to break her of her chains in the AVP movie.
That was because, not in the AVP one, but in the other one we were just talking about, they already had a bit of the human intellect, so they could actually think a lot better.
Yep.
They were more flexible in that manner. In the AVP movies, I don't remember much of them. I'll be honest. I remember watching them, but bits and pieces I remember.
Yeah. Well, the Alien vs. Predator Requiem brings up one of the biggest things ever, which makes us think that they're meant to adapt to be like go from a soldier to a queen, because as like in Requiem, it pretty much continues from where AVP, the first one, ended off, where the alien predator, predator alien, I think it is, bursted from the predator, and in doing so, it had a lot of the predator characteristics, even its sight vision, which apparently, without the mask, they don't have that great. They don't have the actual heat vision seeking, but they have something very similar to it. But the masks helps it even
Enhance
out.
it, yeah.
And but that's what the alien had. I feel like with what the alien does to the host's DNA, it enhanced it itself, so it's pretty much the same. But with that, the alien predator alien, whatever, was able to impregnate hosts itself.
One good thing as well that should be mentioned is in that last Predator movie, it also does state that how predators come to be is they go out, find other people that have certain key DNA signatures or mutations, and take them back and turn them into more predators.
True.
So, kind of, in a sense, they're like Mandalorians, where they're not all from the same race.
From what I understand, it was more of just that one predator that was doing it. He was huge, he was buff. I think he was looking to be the ultimate predator, like a rogue soldier in a sense. Like, I think it was just him.
They did mention that afterwards that kid would not be the same, though, or something like that.
No.
So it's likely that kid was going to survive, but the DNA they did need probably to help everyone else as well. Didn't say the kid was going to be dead outright, though.
No. Yeah, it's just we have too many. Like, we know quite a bit about them, just unless the government is holding back some major technology, we just don't stand a chance, because unless you're going to sit there and have the device that makes a force shield to the other device, and then somehow magically have another force shield around that device.
Which, as those one Alien movies has said, there are other aliens in that universe. So it makes you wonder what other aliens are out there other than the Elder race. And if that's the case, would they ever come to assist in another race in the process? The Predators have shown that those who are actually willing to fight, those who are willing to overcome and adapt, are willing to help them. At least certain Predators anyways.
Yeah. Hey, Sparky. There really just is a lot of controversy just because between us being technologically disadvantaged to fight these creatures, and on top of that, we got so many creatures out there that they could sit there and do that too. And like, it'd be super scary to sit there and think of the possibility of like, what if these guys could somehow not like grow big enough, have a face hugger grow big enough to do it, but maybe if it could actually just somehow get eaten by a whale and then implant an egg, like chances are it's gonna adapt itself to even like grow legs. So you got that whale-sized creature that is a xenomorph walking around on there. And even if then, like, the safest place for us to have been in anyways would have been sitting there in the sea. So if they sat there and did that, we're screwed.
Just imagine a whale-sized alien freaking acid spit.
Exactly. Like you can't prepare for that.
Not to mention some of the other creatures that's out there in the deeps that are theory to be even bigger.
Yeah. Flipping think about anacondas.
Or some of those krakens, or actually there's some squids that will be about like 50,000 some feet up with their tentacles brushing the floor. I learned about that the other day. I was like, what the? And that's just the ones that they've encountered. Those were adolescents. Oh.
Wait, hold on. Can you say this again? I feel like I'm missing something here.
So they're not quite 50,000, but there's been some squids that are encountered where they have like super long tentacles. I don't know the exact measurement, but they are long.
Yeah.
And they drift down to the bottom of the ocean floor and kind of just brush up and pull up any food. And they're so long, so thick, that there's no way once you're in those that you can get out of them. And those are just the adolescent ones that they've managed to find. They are thought to possibly get even larger than that.
I wouldn't doubt it. I actually like the theorization of the Meg, where there's a layer of, I guess, dense fog almost, that's too much for creatures to go through. So if we come up with the technology to sit there and break through it before it can make itself, like, I guess, dense again, something could come through.
But makes you think, though, if there has to be a reason why it would be like that, too, though. If there's something underneath there that shouldn't be coming out. Ooh.
You gotta take these into consideration, but that's what scientists and other military type stuff do. They sit there and risk their lives to do that stuff for us, to help us be prepared or somehow put those types of things to use. Is there any other things that we should probably sit here and discuss about it? This is like probably our longest in-depth conversation about a creature.
I do have one thing. If you could somehow become a leader of the Xenomorphs, how would you try using them?
Okay. I got another one. As just a question for people to give us an answer. I know it's brought up on lines at some point. Pterodactyl. Please stop. At some point, it's a video on YouTube, I think, as well. What would win the Empire on the Death Star or Xenomorphs? And I've brought this up in stuff in the past, but we never actually had it as a question on an actual video. And so it's a very interesting topic because their technology is a lot more advanced than what we have. And on top of that, like, their masks would protect them from the face huggers, I would think.
You would think that, but also remember that there was a story that was written, it was called the Death Troopers. There was a lot of death in that one.
True.
And you think that with it being like something of that nature, that they would have been easily able to, with their technology and stuff, even Jedi and Sith fell to that, like previous versions back in the history of what was going on in that.
True. They almost would have fallen to simple worms in the Clone Wars had they not figured out that they were susceptible to cold weather. But that's not the case with the Xenomorphs.
Not to mention some of the spiders on that ice planet too.
Yeah. So I guess my theory is that the Empire will lose.
Go that way.
It also depends on which empire we're talking about, like the Empire of the Past.
Come here, Pterodactyl. Yeah, you want to come be part of the video? We're fixing to say bye. Well, come on. Keep on talking.
So, the current empire is still coming up with new technology, so maybe, given enough time.
Yeah.
But if we talk about the empire from way back in, Old Republic games, that one, they might actually almost no doubt win, considering how strong the Empire, the Sith back then were. There was a lot more Sith, and they were outrageously strong.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess these are good things to pull up. I still think it's a long shot for the Empire to win after taking into all that into consideration. But I guess it's not impossible. That's really all I have to say about the Xenomorphs. What do you think?
I have no more to add.
Okay. Well, it was fun talking to you guys. I guess we'll try our best to get another video to next week after this one's posted, because I don't know if I'm going to get it in a week after we posted it, the next Monday, whatever. So, yeah. Hey, Pterodactyl. Time to say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hope you guys have a wonderful Giga day. And this has been Giga Rex and
Crazy Peanut Pie.
bye.